Secretary of State Marco Rubio denying reports that Ukraine will be forced to give up some of its territory. Listen.
A European diplomat has confirmed to Fox that President Trump supports Putin's proposal for Russia to take full control of Luhansk and Donetsk, all of Donbass. Do you support this move?
No, first of all, I don't know who told you that, but they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, the president has said that in terms of territories and stuff, these are things that Zelensky's going to have to decide on. These are things that the Ukrainian side is going to have to agree to.
Retired four-star General Jack Keane joins me now. General, great to see you. Thank you for being here. Zelensky and a lot of European leaders are going to start arriving at the White House within the hour, pretty much, and then go into that Oval Office, where we hope it's not a repeat of what we saw back in February. But on this issue of territory and whether or not Trump made some kind of promise to Putin about him being able to hold on to territory, where did that come from, and do you put any credence in it at all?
No, I don't know what the source is, but certainly I take face value what Secretary of State said. I mean, he's been in all the meetings, all the discussions, and the reality is, and even the president has said time and time again, what this meeting is about today with the European leaders. And by the way, the significance of who they are, the major leaders in Europe, to include the EU leader and the NATO leader, are here at the president's request, with President Zelensky and his team to join the president and his team to discuss the pathway forward. And certainly the idea that Zelensky has to give up territory, that the president has said, that's his choice. But certainly they're going to discuss what they believe is Putin's deal that's on the table, which is leaked out, and we're all talking about it, giving up the rest of the Donetsk region and freeze everything else in place. And I think Rubio made another statement, I think, that's very important. He said, listen, if we're going to get a deal at the end of the day here, a permanent agreement, Russia and Ukraine both are going to have to give up something and likely going to have to get something. And he said, if it's all one-sided, that's really not a deal.
Yeah.
That's surrender. And he was talking about the surrender of Ukraine. So this meeting today is obvious. Let's put together a counteroffer that makes some sense, that would benefit Ukraine. And number two, if the security guarantees are real, let's discuss what security guarantees we would like to have in place to this time fundamentally deter Putin from violating every peace agreement which he has done through the years and every ceasefire which he has done. Let's put something that has some teeth in it to make certain that doesn't happen and we get some true, realistic security guarantees. I think that's the substance of what's going to take place today, David.
Well, General, the question is what kind of guarantees and how they would be enforced. The Europeans, I think most of the Europeans, maybe not all of them, want to open a pathway for Ukraine's membership to NATO. We heard Mr. Witkoff say yesterday that we can provide Article 5 kind of protections for Ukraine without going that far. Do you think there is a way to provide the security without a pathway for Ukraine to join NATO?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, Ukraine can't join NATO according to NATO's rules if a foreign power is